Hey everybody, that's us live. Welcome to Elemental Cartomancy. So this is our usual Thursday night live, but as I said in the socials, I've got a special treat for you. So everyone say hi to our very own lovely Nerys from Wickan 222. Nerys, thank you very much for joining me. And we've also got a special guest. This is Nerys' son Caleb that's joining us as well. So hi and welcome to you both. Thank you so much for coming on with me and for keeping me company. Because this came about because last week I didn't feel like coming live myself. Sometimes I just feel like that. Sometimes you're just like, you know what, I can't be bothered just coming on and just talking to a screen for an hour by myself. I fancy a wee bit of company. Um, so I'd messaged the chat and Nerys messaged me back and we arranged to kind of come live together today. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me, guys. How are you both doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Good
Thank you
stuff.
for having us.
That's okay. Anytime, as I've always said. So I mean, Nerys, we've been friends, I think, for gosh, it feels like years. So it does.
It does.
Like I think you've actually. I'm pretty sure that I spoke to you in the other chats before I even had a channel.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, we've been chatting for a while. So it's really great to like. 'Cause I think this is our first time actually coming live together, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Okay. So why don't you? Can you tell everyone? So there'll maybe be some people in here that don't know you guys that maybe haven't seen you before. Um,
Mhm.
what I'll do is I'll get you to tell us a wee bit about yourself if that's okay. And whilst you're doing that, I'll link in the chat your channel and your website,
Mhm.
which is very exciting.
Cool. So, I've been part of the tarot chat rooms for a while. You would have seen me about, and very into exploring the cards. And I do have a channel which I was doing a lot of walkthroughs, and then I sort of took a bit of a break a year or so ago, just to explore a path that I've been passionate about for my whole life, and that's astrology. And I've had the opportunity to study traditional astrology, especially a branch called Horary, which is where you cast a chart for a specific moment in time, and you can use that chart to answer questions or to, locate things, or to, um, you know, how long has your pet got to live, or any question really that comes from the soul that you're looking to answer. So it's been a really wonderful experience to be able to learn that and to refine that skill. And now that's something that I'm looking to put out into the world. So I've also created a website with some opportunities to do readings, and for a variety of readings, not just Harari but natal as well. And you know yeah, just a bit of this and a bit of that. So that's what I've been busy doing.
Brilliant. Well, I've linked your website in the chat, so if everyone could, well, first of all, check out Neris's YouTube channel and make sure that you've subscribed to it. And I've also linked in Neris's new website, majораstrology.com. So check it out definitely. Um, what I'll do, I'll go down the chat and I'll say hi to everybody because I've just realised I'm being ignorant and I've not I've not said hi to anyone. So let's go down the chat. So we've got Simon from the Hermit's Cave. Hi Simon.
Hi, Simon.
We've got Red Wing. Hey, how you doing? Our lovely Deanne from Blue Crescent Tarot is here. Hi Deanne. We've got Marita. Is saying hi Chris and Nerys and hi Caleb as well. Debbie from Aquarius Owl says it's 90 degrees here. Let's see. Is it what? Right. So here, the East in Scotland, it's kind of it's that point where it's still winter. There's no kidding ourselves, but we're kind of coming out of the winter. It's kind of the sun's starting to creep out again. So where are you guys? Because you're
Oh,
at the
we're on the
opposite
slippery
side
slope to
from us.
winter. We're
Are
on the
you?
downhill. Yeah.
Oh, is it
Daylight
the cold
savings
and
is
heat?
gone. The warmth is
Oh gosh.
going. It's all downhill from here.
Let's see. Laurie's here. Hi, Laurie. How you doing? Kathy from Tortoiseville Moon is here. Hi, Kathy. Let's see what's Ian saying. Sometimes I think about life before Tarot Tube friends, and I'm just mind blown because it feels like so long that I've been friends with all of you. I know it's strange to think about before that time and before the pandemic and before Tarot Tube. Like what did we actually all do? Did we have to go and meet people in person? How weird. Um, Our lovely Jamie from Wandering Mountain Bardic Path is here. Hi Jamie, how you doing? Um, Donna from Artists and Oracles. Hey Donna, and that's me at the bottom. So hi and welcome everyone, and hopefully I've not missed anyone, but if I have, then apologies. Hi, lovely to see you as always. Um, yeah, so why don't you? Do you want to tell us a wee bit about what you've been learning about astrology? And now I'm going to try and say this word, Nerys, but I can see it. I've got it written in front of me, and you've also just pronounced it for me. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to struggle with it because of the two R's and because of my accent. So, orrery, orrery. I'm actually
It's a
going to.
good
I don't want
try.
to say a bad word. Neither I do, which I'm going to try and say it too fast, and I'm going to say a bad word. So, horary astrology. Can you tell us a wee bit about your astrology journey in general, and in particular, tell us about horary astrology, if that's okay.
Yeah, so my journey started when I was a kid. I've always been interested in astrology, and it always starts with things like your sun sign. So you're like, I'm a Leo, so you just identify yourself as being a Leo, and that's sort of it. But actually, there's so much more underneath it, and especially, looking at the planet that's on your ascendant at the time of your birth, and where certain planets are in your houses and your chart, and so forth. So it actually paints a far bigger picture of who you are. So it's not as simple as saying I'm a Leo. So it's been really good to learn and to delve into those aspects and to pick them apart and understand them better, and helps paint a picture of who you are. And you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and oh, that makes sense why I prefer this or prefer that, or why I struggle with this. So that's been really good. And the course I did was through the School of Traditional Astrology, and it was about 6 months, that first course, which was dedicated fully to the branch of horary astrology, and it went right through from the basics of exploring what each house means, right up to being able to interpret different charts. They gave you opportunities to be able to. They gave you questions that they've done, and walked you through how they came to answers, and so you could see how the whole process worked. So it was really fascinating how that you could just cast a chart for a certain time and then come up with this answer. It was just amazing. Like, where am I missing keys? And you could almost pinpoint where they were, unless they were completely gone, of course, which sometimes
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So, is there a particular reading that you've done with like that with horary astrology that sticks out that you can tell us about?
Not one that I found anything, no missing items, but one where I helped a colleague of mine with a custody problem. She had a custody issue with her ex-partner who they had visitation for the child. He took the child for the weekend and didn't return the child. So we did
Oh
a chart
gosh.
for whether the child would be returned. And thankfully, it was a good outcome. And we managed to get them through the court as well. That sort of what came up through the chart were opportunities to put that through the legal system that we could see,
Right.
and that was a really good outcome, that the child was returned, and we pinpointed it down within 4 days, which
Right.
happened.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. It's nice to be able to kind of provide that, just that peace of mind to your friends. You know what I mean? And just a wee bit of like, I don't know, like what word do you want to use? Like get like guidance, reassurance, just that kind of a
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, it
It's
was
just
just
nice
such
to
a
be able to do
soul
that for someone.
a soul burning question for her. She just didn't know, am I going to get my child
Mm,
back? That's a huge thing, and it's so scary. And thankfully, we could use this for
yeah,
to give her a positive answer. Thankfully.
right, right, okay. And see with astrology, so I've always had this impression in my head that for anyone who's like serious into astrology, they're like, I've got pictures of them like sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by paper charts everywhere, and like going to this
Oh
chart
my
and
god.
that chart to try and find things out. Is that what it's like, or is that just not the case at all?
I think that's what it felt like when I was studying. Yep. And certainly when,
Yeah,
because I'm
right.
working on my diploma, so I have to link a lot of traditional references into my work. So I usually have a lot of books, and they're all in 16th century English, which is incredibly hard to read.
Right, okay. And what about you, Caleb? Does this kind of so seeing your mum getting into this kind of this horary astrology, does it interest you? Or is it something you're like, nah, I'll leave that to you, thanks. Is it something that
Yeah,
you're
well,
interested in?
yeah, well, it's kind of in the middle. I'm kind of interested, but like
Right.
not kind of interested.
Yeah, cool. So what kind of stuff like just in the whilst we're talking about like divination and all that kind of a thing, is there anything that you're particularly interested in, Caleb, in that kind of that world
Do you like
that you
anything
want to
like
tell us about?
cards or anything?
Well, not really. No, I mean like,
Okay, fair enough.
mm,
It's interesting because I mean, I've told everyone this a million times, but I'm going to make it a million and one. So some of my favourite walkthroughs of decks that I've ever watched are the walkthroughs that you did on your mum's channel. And it's interesting that you say that you're kind of a like I feel as though I'm picking up on some kind of interest that you've got in it. But it's interesting that you're kind of in that way where you're like, well, it's interesting, but I'm not like dead into it because I found it really fascinating, like watching your walkthrough and just listening to your thoughts and stuff. Um, so yeah, I would encourage everyone who's in the chat to check out Nerys's channel, and whenever you see, there's a couple of videos where you see it says from a 9-year-old's perspective or something like that. Check them out. So that's Caleb, who we're seeing here, who's done some walkthroughs of some decks. So definitely really interesting to check out. Um, so yeah, so that was holiday astrology. So was there? So you were talking about like like sun, moon, and ascendant. Is that something that's kind of like important in holiday astrology as well as?
Not your sun, moon, and ascendant, but I think any planet that is sitting on an angle. So you've got like a circle and it's divided into four quarters. So if you've got any
Okay.
of a planet that's sitting on close to one of those quarter lines, that's an important
Uh,
planet and one that you should always pay attention to because it's telling you something.
oh,
So
okay.
it doesn't matter which one
Right.
it is; it will be there for a reason, and that's the one that you need to pay attention to because that's the loud ones.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
That's interesting. See, I always thought that it was. Again, I'm like talking from a pure layman's perspective, but I've seen charts where they're like divided into the 12 houses.
Mm.
And like people talk about like what planet is sitting in which house and all that kind of a thing. And I've always thought, well, that's fair and well if they're sitting nicely in a house, but what if they're sitting on a line? Do you know what I mean? What if Neptune is sitting on the line between the second house and the third house? Like, what happens then? Do you know what I mean? So does that you
We have,
concentrate on that more then?
yeah, not it's usually between the first, fourth, the seventh, and the 10th. Those are the most important
Right.
houses because they're angular and they're the strongest. Whereas you've got
Oh, okay.
other ones that are sort of in the middle and ones that are weak. So you want to look at the ones that are strong because they're going to be the ones that are telling you a lot more. But you do get planets on the cusps of many houses, but we have a 5-degree rule that will talk about that their energies in the previous house because they haven't fully moved into the next house. So they may be on the cusp, but they may not necessarily be embracing the energy of the next house.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's all very
That's really
technical.
fascinating. So I think Nerys, we're going to kind of normally on my lives we'll spend the second part of it doing some card slinging. So I think we are going to sling some cards, and we talked about you possibly like doing some astrology cards. Is that
I've
still the
got some,
plan?
I've got some from Astro
okay.
Soul. So she's got some really lovely,
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
astrology cards
Very
that we
nice.
can look at, use.
Right. Okay. Cool. Because I'm always interested in seeing. We see when we're talking like this, when we're talking about something, I love seeing it in action. It's the same really. It's the same with tarot, really. Like that's why I make a point and trying to do some readings every live that I do, because for me it's the putting it into action that's the exciting bit. So I'm really interested.
I've given him some cards too.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well, don't worry. We don't need to pull any just quite yet. Although it's 20 past already. We've been going for 20 minutes. Time flies, doesn't it? What new decks have you been working with lately, or have you been working with any new decks lately? I guess I should ask first.
Only the this one, the Opal Omen from Studio Artemy. It's a bit hard to see because it's quite light. But these
Right. Okay.
the
Yeah.
backs.
So say again, what is that called, Nerys?
It's called the Fortuna Tarot by Studio Artemy. It's the Opal Omen version. So she's got 3. You've got to catch it in the right light. But she's got like the amethyst one and emerald one, and this is the newer one. So
nice.
Pretty cool.
Very nice. Okay.
Nice little book.
So you've been enjoying working with that?
Yeah. I think it pairs quite nicely with the astrology ones because I like to read them together.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Is that an indie deck, Nerys, or?
It is, yeah. So Studio Artemy, she does these ones too, these Astro Soul ones, and she's an astrologer herself, so she's got her own website with she's got these 3 different card decks. She also does a deck on the mansions of the moon.
Okay.
As well. Yeah, nice. So she's a bit different. So
cool. Is that kind of what that Moonology deck does? I've never actually properly checked that out, but it's one that always pops up on Amazon. It's called Moonology, and I think there's like 2 versions of it.
Different.
Is it different?
Yeah, this one's a tarot deck. So
right,
she's got oracle ones as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, guys, if anyone's got any questions for Nerys and Caleb, Nerys and or Caleb, then please pop them in the chat. You can feel free to tag us or put them in capitals. Maybe steer away from capitals because I think sometimes it gets a bit funny when we put capitals in. But yeah, just pop questions in the chat and I'll try and kind of pick up on them. I'll try and keep my eye on them as we're going. When I was having a nose at your website, Nerys, I noticed that you do other things other than readings. So I saw like candles and stuff like that as well.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's true. I do make candles. They're about 200 grams. I should have brought one with me. But they are aligned to the energies of the planet. So I try and use the traditional scents that are attributed to each planet. And then I put, things like crystals and herbs on top, as well as embellishments. But it was to align with the energies of those certain planets. So, sometimes if you have one that you're working with at the moment, or one that you're feeling quite aligned to, I thought it'd be quite nice just to have that there. And
yeah, that's pretty cool. So you said there are like scents that we associate with the planets. Tell me more about that.
So for the sun, I think we've got amber and frankincense. So they're quite, they're the sun herbs. sun smells, and there's calendula on there as well with the sunstone. And then for Mercury, there's orange, cinnamon, and clove, which has been attributed to the planet Mercury. So there's that one. We've got cypress for Saturn, dragon's blood for Mars. So I did a bit of research into what sort of scent would go with which planet, and ones that I could get hold of course, because some of them are really old and out of date and you can't find. So looking at
Yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
And what other kind of stuff do you have on there? What other kind of stuff do you have on there on your website?
So there's things as well, like crystals that I've got. So, and I do handmade wands that I know that Simon remembers, that the Owen wands that I make. They're on there, and I have wee acorns with Owen symbols wood burnt into there as well. So I hand make a few things as well that I just put on there. So they're all in the one place. Keeps it easy.
Amazing. Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. Definitely everyone check out Nerys's website because you'll be able to see all that stuff on there.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think Deanne's linked Studio Artemy. That's the decks you were talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Deanne's put the link to that in the chat, so thanks very much for that, Deanne.
Thank you.
I'm just looking at some of the comments. Oh, hang on, where's my mouse? That is there. I've got 3 screens on the go here, so sometimes I'll lose my mouse, as stupid as it sounds. Simon says astrology always hurts my head. Yeah, see, I'm kind of the same, but I did maths, so I did like maths. I tutor maths, so I keep telling myself like I should be able to grasp it. Like it should be right up my street. That kind of logical, like charts and all that kind of thing. Like I should love that, but I can just never seem to quite like take that leap. Are there any like kind of a like beginner, like anything you would recommend for someone who is an absolute beginner, someone like me who's like basically barely knows knows one planet from the other and wants to get started?
As for beginner courses, I'm not entirely sure, but I just did a lot of it. There are places that do offer foundation courses that give you the base, but it depends, I guess, where you are and how to exercise. I know a guy in New Zealand does them because that was my very first introduction to natal astrology. He did a very basic, from the very beginning of, this is the sun and the sun is this. So very beginning. So they are around, but the only ones I do know of are here. So it might not be very helpful.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just wondering, like, if there was anything, like any books or anything particular that you would recommend.
Yeah. Astrology for Yourself is quite a good book because it helps you unpack your own, like if you know your chart.
I think I've got that.
Yeah, that's quite a good one.
That you write in?
Yeah, it's one you write in. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got that. I think I got that. I think it was Will from Atypical Tarot that recommended it. On his, I was just happened to be watching a video, and he had recommended that book for getting into astrology. So I think I've actually got that. So that
could be a good place to start.
Cool. Okay. Deanne is excited to check out your website.
Thank you.
She also says, I used to draw up some charts. Would love to get back into it someday. Let's see. Yeah, people are loving the Studio Artemy decks. Donna says, I'm fascinated by astrology. One of these days I will do a deep dive study of it. For now, I just dabble in it. Yeah, see, like I can draw a wee bit from a tarot perspective. So if a card like Strength comes up, right? Strength is very clearly got very strong Leo energy. And Leo is a very strong sign that has very kind of a clear I mean, I may well be stereotyping, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I may well be drawing on the stereotypical meanings, but it has those clear meanings. Do you know what I mean? That match in very well with that card. So sometimes I'll say it. I'll refer to the Leo energy and the strength card. Um, but like other than that, I think I'm absolute dog shit at it.
I can't say that I'm the best at combining both of them together, like reading a tarot card and picking out the astrology of it.
Right.
I just
okay.
The card will tell you what it needs to tell you at the time, and astrology may not have no need to be there.
Aye, no. So have you got no interest in like see like the Golden Dawns kind of a system for the minors, where you have you've got all the kind of astrological correspondences and stuff. Is that not really something that appeals much?
To be honest, no, because whenever I read anything, it's very much an intuition thing, and like I said, it may be what they assign to it, but it may not be what the card's wanting to say.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Yeah. No. Fair
It
enough.
may have its relevance, and it may come out if it needs to, but
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that, but I just opened a can and it was really loud. So apologies if you just heard that sound. There's nothing, no bomb going off or anything. It was just my can. Have you guys got a drink there as well?
no, not yet. It's a bit early. It was a bit too early for the coffee.
Oh well, it's never too early for coffee. Don't be silly.
No. But I think we only woke up like not long before we jumped on. To be fair.
To be fair, like normally, my first drink, the first thing I'll do is make a cup of tea in the morning. A cup of tea always comes first, and then I'll go into the hard stuff later on in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. Deanne's asking, does frankincense align with a particular planet? Oh, did you answer that already? I think I heard you saying earlier that.
Yeah, it can align with
frankincense-
many, but it was something that stood out more for me with the sun, so that's where I used it. But didn't want to have to use the
Right.
same scent over and over again. I've tried to keep it quite separate.
Yeah. Yeah. And Simon's talking about the one that you made him. It's a treasured item on his desk. I actually knew that because I must have saw it in one of your recent videos, Simon. You recently did a video. I don't know. You're right on my telly. So yeah. So see when I'm like tidying the kitchen, or I don't know, doing something about the house, I'll generally tend to cast YouTube to the TV. And just have somebody kind of chatting to me in the background. So yeah, I think like the one that you made for Simon was on the desk at the time when I was watching it. I could be talking complete rubbish, but I think it was. Justin's here says, I take it that means Nerys rather than nerds. Nerys and Chris.
Predictive text.
Buongiorno, hi everyone. Who is that wee whippersnapper behind the East? This is Caleb.
There you go, you're a whippersnapper.
This is Caleb. This is Nerese's son. And he's better at tarot than either of us are, Justin. Let's see. Yeah, Nerys, not nerds, but also nerds. Hey, nerds. Nerds and a whisper snapper make a great channel name, Justin, says Simon. Yeah, true. Tony's here. Hi, Tony. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. Coffee morning, tea in the evening, says Simon. That's interesting. See, after like a certain time, after say 7 o'clock, I need to switch to decaf. Otherwise, my wee brain will be going all night. And I don't know if you ever find this right, but see, even if I can get to sleep, if I've been drinking too much caffeine too late, I'll twitch in my sleep and I'll wake myself up. It's horrible, so it is. So
I just can't get to sleep.
Oh gosh. Oh right, okay. So you answered the question right as Deanne asked it. So you were in her head. What can we say? We're psychic on this channel. Yeah, it would be Chris Wills, but yeah, the wand on the table. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Deanna's like, why can I not think of a question?
Too much
I was going
coffee.
to ask generally what you guys have been up to. Tell us, like fill us in
So
because it has been a while since you've been on the
it
tubes
has.
and stuff. So
We've had to deal with a handful of natural disasters, which have been throwing spanners in the works. So that's why I could be here today, because usually I'd be working. So I haven't been able to be on many of the lives because I had been at work. But we had some pretty major flooding in our city oh God, it was a while ago now. It was the end of January, and it ended up flooding my workplace, which they ended up having to close the business. So I've been temping or relieving or substituting, whatever label you put on it, and I'm looking for a full-time job. So at the moment we're in school holidays, which is why he's at home too. So we're just having a chill week before I go back to some more temping work. But yeah, it's been pretty full on. So we had floods, and then 2 weeks later we had a direct hit from a cyclone. Just to make matters worse. Thankfully, the second time we only got the wind, not the rain, because if we got the rain, I think it would have made the already wet ground far, far worse. But thankfully, we only just got more of the wind, and sadly, the east coast of our country caught most of the rain and were quite badly flooded. So there were it was terrible. Like, we had about 4 people in Auckland lose their lives on that day of the flood, and many people who lost homes and businesses and, you know, cars and all sorts. You know, like, I drove to my work the next day and there are cars that are just dotted in the road. Obviously they've been picked up and moved, and you're sort of playing dodge to try and get around that. So you know it was bad when cars went where they were supposed to be. And so it was a while. We tried to clean it up as best we could, tried to save what we could, but I think the damage was, you know, we got about halfway up your calf, and that was only my workplace, and that was considered quite good, considering places around the corner were like, you know, waist deep.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It happened like within 2 hours.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
It's just that I don't know about you, but when shit like that happens, it's like you want to have something to be angry at, but it's like Well, we were angry
at our city council. We're angry at our council because they didn't declare an emergency. They sat there with their thumbs up their butts and talked about it for about 2 hours, which is while the whole thing's going on before they did anything. So about 10 o'clock that night they issued the state of emergency. None of us knew how bad it was. Unless you were sitting in it, you didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah. Shit. It really is. Especially we've just come out of the COVID pandemic, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just it's not fair, but
I know, and it was like the height of our summer. We were about to go away for our first long weekend, and you know, the beaches would have been packed, but our beaches now were shut for months because of the overflow of, you know, black water that was going out to the sea. So they were essentially unswimmable for most of the summer. So our summer was pretty much cancelled.
Yeah. So have you what was I going to ask you there? Came in at my head really quick and went out just as fast. Oh yeah, are you guys on the west coast of New Zealand?
I'm at the top of the country, so like there's a real skinny bit at the top. We're at the bottom of the skinny bit at the top.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's where we are. So we're up the top. So we get, you know, it just was this freak rain band of weather that came through, and
yeah, it's just hit the whole country. Let's see. Laurie had asked, so I think you kind of touched on this, but she'd asked what books could be used to get us started. I think that was about astrology. So there was the book Astrology for Yourself that you mentioned. In fact, I could quickly go and grab mine just now, just to show you if you want. But if there's any other books that you would recommend, Nerys, then you can let us know.
I was trying to think of what's on my bookshelf. you want to go and have a look at what astrology books from the bookshelf?
That-
Sent him to go have a look.
That bookshelf.
The other one. I use Christian Astrology. That's the book written by William Lilly. So he is a 16th century astrologer where we learn a lot of our horary astrology from. So I call that the Bible. It's about this thick. It's got
All right, okay.
3 volumes in it, 16th century English.
Oh, wow. This is
Don't mind the
tarot
kids in
for
the background.
yourself. So this is what it looks like, guys. And just to kind of give you an idea,
On the bottom
like it's
shelf,
a proper
the,
workment where you're writing in it. Do you know what I mean? You're it's not you're not just reading and digesting information. Like you're getting involved. You're kind of you're doing it as you go. So if you're a bit more like me and you like to like do it to learn it rather than just read it, then this might be quite a good option for you. So Astrology for Yourself by Douglas Block and Demetra George.
Oh, Caleb just brought me another one as well that could be of some help. It's the only astrology book you'll ever need.
Oh, okay.
Oh. So it's quite thick.
Right, okay.
It's written by Joanne Martine Woolfolk.
Okay.
So that's
Cool.
up there. So that's
There
packed
you go,
full of
this-
lots of useful information as
Oh,
well,
yeah,
which
right.
is good to read.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks very much for that. Just looking to see if anyone else has asked any questions. Justin is just leaving work. So Deanne was answering Laurie's question. Yeah, the people are responding when you were talking about the flood there. So Emmy says that sounds awful. Tony asked a question. Any deck suggestions for magical plant / herb related astrology that is universal?
The one I know of is called the Herbal Astrology Oracle, and I think that's quite universal. I don't have a copy of that just yet, but I have seen it, and it does look pretty cool, and it does have herbal connections too,
Right.
to some different planets. I'm not sure.
Cool.
I think it's quite readily available as well.
Okay. Yeah, Kathy says that's really scary. Deanne's put a link in for Tarot for Yourself, so thanks, Deanne. Deanne says, okay, I have a question. It's boring, but it's practical. What should I focus on for the remainder? Oh, is this a question for the cards? Aye, that will be, won't it? She's not just looking for her opinion on what she should focus on. What I'll do, Deanne, I'll star that, and we'll get to that when we do when we're doing those kinds of questions. Okay. What's your favourite astrology decks? Tarot and Oracle to use? Asks Tony.
So definitely the Astral Soul is one of my most favourite astrology ones. I also have the Black Moon astrology cards and the Celtic astrology cards, which I quite enjoy as well. And for tarot, definitely the Fortuna tarot decks. I've been really enjoying the Pagan Otherworlds at the moment. That's sort of been one that's popped up. And Druidcraft is always a favourite.
Yeah, brilliant. I think I've only got one astrology deck. Let me see if I can. In fact, no, it'll be up here, won't it? There it is. It's this one. In fact, Deanne, I'm sure it was you that put me onto this. Star Codes Astro Oracle. Is that one that you mentioned? Or is it one
No,
that
I
you've known
didn't
about?
mention that one, but that's a good one too.
Yeah, the images are really nice, so they are. So just to kind of give you guys a bit of an idea. So you've got like one for each sign. You said you were Leo, didn't you?
Yep.
So there's Leo,
And,
which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
yes, and you're a Libra.
yay.
Caleb's Libra. Oh, your birthday will be near mine then, Caleb. When's your birthday?
October 16th.
Right, okay. I'm November 1st. There's Libra. So Libra, yeah, Libra all about balance. And then Scorpio, that's me.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, it's and so it has the the zodiac, and then let's see Pisces. So then we've got like dignified, and debilitated. So I'm taking it this is like qualities of the planets or the signs depending on where they fall on a chart. Like you would describe them as dignified or debilitated. Is that right? Or like retrograde? You've muted, Nerys. Is that on purpose?
Oh yeah, I was just telling him to tell the other kids to shh. They're all being noisy now.
Let's see. We've got the sun and the moon. So then we've got the planets. I love Mercury. I love a good Caduceus.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Sorry, this is turned into like a walkthrough of this deck, which I didn't mean it to. It's because it's the only thing that to do with astrology that I've got in my whole collection. So I thought, well, I might as well show it. So we've got the kind of a planetary bodies, all the planets. We then get Chiron. That's got a nice snake on it. So Chiron is like the
Oh yeah. The wounded
the
hero.
wounded healer, isn't it? North Node, Ascendant, Midheaven. Yeah, loads of different stuff. Anyway, I'll stop there. Otherwise, I'm going to end up going through the whole entire deck, which I don't want. So yeah, that was your favourite astrology decks. So I mean, I suppose it's got to be my favourite, hasn't it? Because it's the only one that I've got. And then for tarot, well, the tarot decks that are on my table just now I've got a version of the Smithwaite, I've got the Light Seers, and I've got the Marielle. So those are my favourites, or at least right now, those are the ones that I'm kind of most closely working with. Right. That will need to do. They're not in order now, but that's okay. Let's see. Deanne's put in a link to Christian astrology, and the only astrology book you'll ever need. Thank you very much, Deanne.
Thank you.
Laurie says, I bought the only astrology book a couple of years ago and then looked at reviews, very mixed up opinions. So I held off reading it. Oh, well, there you go. I suppose I always think like read it, have a look for yourself and see what you make of it.
Yeah, take everything with a pinch of salt because not everything will sit with you.
Yeah, that's that. Let's see some of the reviews that you see on, not just on like this kind of stuff on decks and books and stuff, but on anything, any kind of product reviews. It only takes for one small negative experience. Do you know what I mean? So, for example, in a deck, like one card that a person doesn't like, and they'll go on and write like a shit review for it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas there could be like 50 cards in there that are really nice. And it's just that one card that's kind of that's prompted that review. So definitely always kind of always check things out for yourself. I think says me who when I'm buying something, the first thing I'll do is I'll go to the Amazon reviews and see how many 5 stars it's got. I should practice what I preach. Let's see. Janine's here. Janine says, I'm interested in aspects of a chart where a person has opposing elements, so Sun v Moon or Ascendant. I've never read a book which covers this.
Christian
That's
astrology would
interesting.
cover that for you. Yeah, because it looks
Right,
at
okay.
different aspects like your oppositions, your conjunctions, and all
Right.
that, and in
So is
different
that like when
houses as
they're
well.
when the signs oppose each other? Do you know what I mean? Like when
Yeah,
the signs that clash that you've got, and right, okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
If you've
I
got a sun
am
opposing moon, you were born on a full moon, so you'll have that energy
right. All
around
right,
it as
okay.
well. Mm.
What am I? I'm actually a Leo moon. So I'm a Scorpio sun, a Leo moon, and a Taurus rising. So I don't
Well, I
know
can see why
whether
you'd be
they
a Leo moon, totally, because you're out here in the world. It'd be very interesting to see where Leo sits in your chart, because Leo
right.
moons love to have attention.
Do they really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, my daughter's a Leo moon, and it's like she just has to have attention.
Right. Okay.
It feeds their soul, and she's a Taurus sun, so there's that practical element to her as well. But very homely.
Yeah.
But yeah, loves the attention.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
What's your moon? What have you got in moon?
My moon is Taurus, and my ascending is Pisces.
Ah, okay. Okay. So Leo, Taurus, Pisces. So you've got a mixture, the same mixture as me in terms of the elements. You've got a fire, earth, and
Yeah, I
water.
mean, I
Planet.
love looking at temperaments in people's charts. So looking at charts and seeing what temperament, whether there's more hot and dry or cold and moist. What sort of elemental aspects are stronger in the chart. There's some
Right.
may have quite a melancholic chart, so they're very so. Some could be very choleric and very just go 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 go. So the temperaments do feed into aspects of the chart as well, and seeing
Yeah.
who has an excess of what, because you can usually balance it with aspects of the other, if that makes sense. So if you
Yeah.
find you've got too much hot and dry, then bringing some of that cold and moist into your life to sort of taper it off a bit could be beneficial to you. So there's a whole nother
Right.
world that I've got yet to delve
So
into.
interesting.
Mm.
It's so interesting. What about Caleb? Do you know what your like? You said you're a Libra sun, but do you know what your moon and rising are?
No.
His moon's Aquarius,
Yeah.
and his rising
Right.
is Scorpio.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so lots of air then.
He's got a lot of
Lots of
air. He's
air
got
in.
no fire in his chart at all. Just a
Really?
a lot of air, a lot of water.
That's why you're so sleepy and just
Yeah.
in the background, quite happy there. Like there's no fire. No, that's a lot of air, and I suppose as much as Aquarius is air, it's the water bearer, isn't it? So there's a lot of water there as well.
Aquarius has
That's
to have a balance, because they've got their cup, and it's got to be just right. It can't, if it's too full and it's overflowing, there's too much. But if there's not enough, then there's not enough. So it's about maintaining it. It's also bringing in some of that balance as well.
Right. Okay. Cool. My mum's Aquarius sun. That's the only kind of experience that I've got with Aquarius. I seem to surround myself with Geminis. Apparently, I just love someone who cannot make a decision. Like my husband's a Gemini, my best friend is a Gemini, like, and I feel I'd like for a while with like a lot of the people that I was friendly with on even on Tarot Tube, I'm sure we're Gemini as well. Like it's just Gemini, Gemini, Gemini.
Is it because you make the decisions for them? Maybe you like to get in there and just make the decision.
I don't think I'm always the best at that either. To be honest with you, I think I like to have my indecisive moments, So no, I don't know. I don't know what it is. What did Janine say? So I am fire sun sign, so Aries sun, but both my ascendant and moon sign are Cancer. Do you know of any? Oh, do you know of any interesting books? So the books that Deanne's linked above will probably be quite, I'd imagine, quite good for you to check out.
I've also
They'll have
heard that
some
Parker
useful
astrology is meant
information.
to be quite good for beginners as well.
Okay, Parker astrology.
Yeah.
Cool.
And checking out sites like astro.com is always quite fun because there's always information on that. And SkyScript is a fabulous website for information around astrology. They've got everything. So
Right.
she's just in the process of upgrading her website at the moment. It's just a wealth of knowledge on there. So
Right. Okay.
that's
Sky
definitely a
Script.
go-to. SkyScript, yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll check it out. I remember I got my chart, like I put in, I can't remember what website it was now, but I put my, my date of birth, where I was born and the time that I was born at, and it gave me, that's how I know what my sun, moon and rising are, but like it gave me my full chart, so it did. Um, so but because I don't know anything about it, I wasn't really able to discern any information from it, but it would be interesting to have a conversation with someone that actually can look at it and knows a bit about it.
Well, there you go. Send it to me and I can help you out.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. That'd be amazing. Tell me about that sounds so conceited, doesn't it? Like, oh, let's just talk about me. let's meet up and chat about me. How does that sound?
Leo Moon. Leo Moon.
Leo Moon. It's all about me. It's all about me, folks. It's all about me. The All About Chris show. Marita says, what about the Celestial Tarot?
I don't think I've got the
Yeah.
Celestial Tarot.
So the Celestial, I might be getting mixed up here, right? But I'm sure the Celestial Tarot has, like, see what I'm talking about, like the minors with the correspondences, like it's the Golden Dawn correspondences that I'm familiar with. So like the Thoth is the kind of a main one that I know that has them. So like your Two of Wands is your Mars and Aries, etc., etc. You know, they've all got like a correspondence like that you can pull information
Oh,
from.
yeah. Yeah.
I think I've got a feeling that the Celestial Tarot changes it up. It does things differently. And
Yeah, it's got things
I
like
don't
your
know.
mutable fire, your fixed fire, your cardinal fire, and your
Right, yeah.
and your wands, and different. Oh, you got some Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, and your cups, and a whole heaps of different things.
Yeah. Yeah. Diane says Astrosoul is gorgeous and useful. I have Black Moon Astrology as well and love that. Love that one for casting charms, especially Black Moon Astrology. What is that? Is that like a book or?
It's a card deck.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Deanne, do you mean like you lay out a spread and then you cast charms onto it? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Star Codes is beautiful. Also, the Radiant Sun Oracle, says Marita. Tony, how can we make the most of this third decan in Aries? So what I'll do, I'll star that and we can ask that when we pull cards, which we'll do shortly actually, because it's coming up for 10 o'clock here now. So what to do is, guys, if you've got questions for the cards, then pop them in the chat, and we'll start getting to reading. And Caleb, are you going to be pulling some cards with us?
Probably.
Cool. So there you go. We're going to you're getting 3 for the price of 1 here, folks. So pop your question in the chat. Let's keep it clean. We do have a minor with us. So nothing untoward, nothing dodgy, please. But pop your question in the chat and we will read for your question. And I mean, Tony's question is about making the most of the third decan in Aries. So, like, just generally, like, is that something that you look at in terms of the decans and stuff? And
it can be. It depends where it's relevant. But the Four of Wands is a card that rules the third decan of Aries, and it relates to Venus in Aries. So you've got the planet of love and beauty, but it's in detriment, which means it doesn't do very well in Aries. So the very calm, quiet nature of Venus is quite transformed when it's in that fiery sign of Aries. So you could look at it, say, Venus in Aries knows what it wants and how to get it. So it can be quite blunt.
Right. Okay.
So I think going after what you want, maybe, but maybe not be so blunt, because that never goes down so well.
There you go. That's some good advice.
Yeah, it can be quite a time where you feel quite rushed, because Venus is on the slide into Taurus. Taurus is where Venus is at home, so Venus wants to get out of Aries and into Taurus. So she's in a bit of a hurry. Let's just get through this time and get out, because I want to go home. I'm almost home. It's like you're stuck down the road in traffic. I'm almost home. I want to get there, but you just gotta wait it out.
Yeah.
So that's where.
That's really interesting, because so the Four of Wands, right? Most of us will associate that as so they are. It's a kind of a really positive card. If you just take the astrology out of it, it's a positive card. But I've always thought of it. I'm always very mindful that it's only the four, and because of that, I associate it with it's validation. It's that first kind of thumbs up. Yeah, you're good at this. You're doing well. You can really make something of this. But it's not like the be all and end all. It's not like you've fully achieved everything that you've set out to achieve here. It's nowhere near that. So whenever I'm kind of just chatting about it, I often think about it in terms of a game of rounders, or where you've got to run round to each of the bases, that kind of a thing. So for me, the Four of Wands is you've reached first base. You've got that first that first base level of stability, but you need to keep going. So it's just interesting that you say that Venus wants to kind of keep going and get back to Taurus, because that's where it's most comfortable. Because that really, for me, resonates with how I think of that Four of Wands.
Yeah, exactly. It's a time to calm down, I think, and just enjoy your moment of satisfaction after all your hard work. Don't be in such a rush.
Yeah.
Because as a card where you experience fulfillment, you should be able to enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah. Donna is a Libra too, as is Simon.
Yeah.
So Caleb's birthday's
It'll
the day
probably
after
be the same
Simon's.
day here. The 15th of October is the 16th of October here.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Let's see. Barbie. Oh gosh, how are we saying that? Barbary's Zodiac Oracle is gorgeous, says Marita. That's not one that I've heard of. Diane, of course, is Libra too. Absolutely. So you're getting shout outs from all the Libras here, Caleb. Just filling you in on what you've missed. Everyone who's a Libra is now you're all banding together.
We're outnumbered, Chris. We're outnumbered.
I know all these air signs. I found the way the Fortuna Tarot highlights the deacons in astrology really interesting.
Yeah, that's where I learned it from. Yeah.
Right, okay. Let's see. I have astro codes, love the art, Radiant Sun, Monology, and Elemental Tarot by Caroline. More gorgeous art. It's the Elemental Tarot, right? Okay. Diane was laughing at me over asking a boring question, but I do think you should try out the book that you have with the mixed reviews. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm just trying to fire through the comments so that I'm not just stopping short and missing out, missing something. But are you guys shuffling away? What decks are you going to be working with?
Shuffling. Show your deck, Caleb.
Okay.
He's got this one, the Mystic Gnome.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. He's gonna
cool.
Got a kid-friendly deck.
Good stuff.
Even though he's 12 and almost not a kid anymore.
Does it make you feel old?
Yeah. Well, my eldest turning 16 makes me feel old. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. When who is your eldest? Is your eldest
She's not here today. She's out at work. But her birthday's in 2 weeks. So
Oh, right, okay.
no, it's a
He's
week
doing
from Monday. I
anything
lie.
exciting for it? Are you doing anything nice for it?
I think she's going out for dinner with her grandma.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Let's see. Kathy says, I'm an Aries, Sun, Leo, Moon, and Virgo rising. Lots of fire. Marita says, I have the same mix, Sag, Sun, Cancer, Moon, and Virgo rising. So that fire, water, earth. The houses the element lands in does give a weird reading in people's personality. Right, okay. Marita says, no wonder he's such a chill dude. That's well, that kind of that air and water in your chart. The lack of fire. Let's see, Gemini and Libra, poor Chris. Bonnie loving the Aquarians. Most of her circle is either Aquarius or Libra. Link to Parker's astrology in the chat for anyone who wants to have a look. A link to skyscript.co.uk for anyone who has. Oh, it's a UK website. Brilliant.
Yep. She's
check
from
it out.
the UK. She's amazing.
Nice. I'm just skimming now to see if I can see any card questions, so as that I can highlight them. Oh, Jonathan's here. Hey, Jonathan. Says, I'm so late. I'm running around trying to get ready to be the tarot reader for a witchy shop's tarot party. Oh, that sounds cool, Jonathan. Enjoy. And Angelica is here. See, you'll be great, Jonathan, especially with your dragon cards. Okay, right, guys. Questions for the cards in the chat, please. Let's get some questions in there. We can. We've got some questions to get us started. This starring thing is great now. I can star things, I can star comments and come back to them, and I'm not like scrolling through the chat for about 5 minutes trying to find them. It's brilliant. So Deanne has a question. What should I focus on for the remainder of April? So what will we do? Do you just want to do like maybe one card each, or?
Yep.
I'm easy either way. If you would rather pull more than one, but
this is your question.
So Caleb, we're pulling a question for what should I focus on for the remainder of April? Well, Deanne, I'm going to go first. I actually don't. Well, I can show you that. So when I was shuffling there, 3 cards jumped out of the deck, and I was being stubborn and putting them back in, just thinking that's just me shuffling badly. But the 3 cards that jumped out were the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Empress. So it's really like number 3 is big for you. That is what you should be focusing on for the remainder of April. So think of everything that we associate with the number 3. Think of like that creativity, that the power of creation, like actually taking something that was previously just a concept and making something of it. Okay, so it might be like a wee project that you've had on the side that that you're wanting to kind of a kickstart again. That you've been trying to make something. It could be something that when we say like kind of a manifest, it doesn't always have to be something physical that you can hold in your hands. It might be like a habit that you're trying to break, or a habit that you're trying to bring into your life that you're trying to manifest. But whatever it is, focus on, now's a good time for you to bring something new into your life. All right, manifest that something new. So yeah, 3 energy, and I'm holding up the Empress for you. Who wants to go next?
Nerys?
He got the King of Wands.
Yeah.
What are you going to say about this card? About what Deanne could focus on for the remainder of April? look at this? What do you think?
Focus on like nature, what's happening outdoors and all that stuff.
Anything else you see him doing? No?
Not really.
Focus on being outdoors.
Yes.
Okay.
Deanna will love
Focus
that
on, yeah.
message. Deanna's got a frog pond out
Ah,
her back door, so she has.
okay.
She will absolutely love that message.
Cool. And I got retrograde. So I think, you know, whether you need to go back over some things or re-look at something that maybe you have put aside and that you need to pick up again, because retrograde gives the impression of going backwards, even though a planet doesn't really go backwards. It's just how it appears to us in the sky. And in astrology, we use it for going back and looking over something that perhaps when the planet went through that in the direct fashion, it was missed. So I think going back and having a look at something that you've either put aside or you've missed, or even something you've put off doing, because you need to be able to do it to be able to move forward.
That's really cool. So if we put all three of those messages together, is there so Deanne, I'm going to ask you, is there something you've been meaning to do, like maybe in the garden, or maybe like kind of some in the house, or something outdoorsy that you've been meaning to do that you've maybe started but you've kind of put it to one side? Maybe the weather got a wee bit shitty and you were like, you know, I'll come back to it when the sun comes back. If there's something like that you know that's in your life that you could come back to, then I think that's what it's telling you to do for the rest of April. So you can let us know in the chat whether here we've got lots of feedback from Deanne. Let's see what she's saying. I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. Okay, so she's saying, yep, right on. It's honestly cleaning my closet. It's so hard. Nice. Was just thinking I need to do daily walks. Frog pond. That's my cleaning closet again. It's the retrograde card. All right, I'm going to get over it and just get it done and take breaks by going outside. Sounds so mundane, I know, but this is legit my biggest problem right now. Cool. Okay, well, thanks for that amazing question, Deanne. That was really fun to read for, so it was. And it was a nice wee one to get us kicked off, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Let's see. I'm just starting some more questions that we've got here. Right, okay. So next, I believe we have Tony. So Tony is, so we kind of answered this question. Nerys answered it just in chatting, but shall we pull some cards for how, well, it's a collective question you've asked, Tony. So how about we read it for the collective, but with a wee spin towards you, maybe? So how can we make the most of this third? Right, do we say deacon or deacon? Because I'm conscious that I'm switching between the two because I really don't know which it is. Is it deacon or deacon, or does it not matter?
I say deacon, but I don't think it matters how you say it. Some
Right,
say deacon.
okay.
That's
Well,
totally
I'm
fine.
going to copy
yeah.
you. I'm going to copy you
But
then and say deacon.
The way we say things down here is very loose.
Ooh. So for this question, I've got the Nine of Swords. Focus on how we're looking at things. To see how like there's a lot of crap going on. There's no denying that. You know, I think you know, everyone's got their stuff. You know, and some people's stuff is a lot worse than others, but everyone's kind of got stuff that they've got going on. So the stuff that I'm talking about is a real thing, but sometimes we amplify it in our minds. Okay, so sometimes we create, we tell ourselves there's this issue when, in actual fact, if we kind of a look up, we'll see that at least one of these kind of a birds that are covering us, at least one of these kind of a thoughts that are weighing on us is actually, it's not really truly there. So perspective, I think we look at how we're looking at things, how we're approaching things. The mind is a really powerful thing. This is an energy. The Nine of Swords is quite often depicted as this kind of a negative, anxious energy, but I always maintain that if we can turn that around, if we can take that energy, turn it on its head and channel it in a way that actually serves us, then it's a really great energy to have. It's the powerful mind energy. So it is. So you can get a lot of stuff done if you can channel this in your favor.
I got the 10 of Cups.
Ooh. Nice.
And I think it's about like gaining friendships and gaining love and stuff.
That's really nice.
Living together.
Working together is
Lovely.
good. And I got stellium. So it's a term in astrology where you have three planets very close together in the chart. It's a cluster of them in one place. So what that means is, it can signify that, you need to make more of an effort to adapt to external circumstances. So what's going on around you, because you're in the midst of these three different energies. So you're going to be impacted by all of them. So it's about having awareness of what's around you and how you could, I guess, use that to your own benefit.
Right. Okay. Cool.
But it also amplifies what state you're in. So if you're looking at the third decan of Aries, it's going to amplify that those feelings of stability and completion that the Four of Wands has.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. Cool. Let's see. Just try to catch any comments that have happened in between where I've not caught them. Those cards are huge. The Black Moon Astrology deck, the cards are huge, Diane says. Kathy, I've had Celestial Tarot on my list for ages. I've got the Spiral Tarot with the same person. Justin, who popped in earlier, but I think he's travelling home from work just now, I think he said. Justin's got the Spiral Tarot, and I know he's kind of recommended it to me a couple of times. Venus sounds a bit fruity. Venus equals Empress. Aries equals Emperor. And Four of Wands. It's interesting as a set of cards for tarot. Yeah, that's true. Right, let me just go through and find the next question then. So the next one comes from, well, actually, before I say that, Jan says, fun fact, Simon gave a channel shout outs to me, Jonathan, and Nerys all in the same live stream.
Yep, I remember that.
Well remembered.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. And you're all here, so it's like a big reunion, so it is. How will my tarot party on Saturday go for me, says Jonathan.
Okay.
So that's the next question that we're reading for, guys. How will Jonathan's tarot party go on Saturday? So what I mean, I'm just nosy now. I'm curious to know a bit more. Like, are you having people round at your house, or is it just going to be kind of a people reading for each other, or is it going to be like decks exchanged? Like, how many people are coming? Like, I want to know all the juicy details. Again, just because I'm a nosy bitch. So what do I want to say first? So I've got the Hanged Man jumped out of my deck. When I think of the Hanged Man, I always think about Odin, the story of Odin, the Norse Allfather, hangs on the Yggdrasil, the Tree of Life, um, for a day, I think it is, in order to gain wisdom. Gains knowledge of the underworld, of the darker side, and the Hanged Man is that point in the tarot where we're starting to go through some of the darker cards, some of the darker kind of stages of the Fool's journey. But it's the point as the enlightenment and the wisdom that we gain from it. So on a kind of a more surface level, for me, the Hanged Man is it's taking some time out from your usual day to day in order to gain wisdom. Doing something a bit different in order to gain some sort of wisdom. Now, sometimes with the Hanged Man, we need to push ourselves. Like the story is about old. I don't know if it's old monks or something that would, they would hang themselves upside down to let the blood rush to their heads and bring themselves to the point of you know, like bring themselves to the point where they're almost not surviving, they're almost not making it through. But it's in order to kind of give themselves that different perspective, that different experience. When you push yourself to the limit, things are very different and your perceptions and stuff. So I think it's going to go well. I think it's Jonathan. I know you're a very kind of a deep guy. Whenever I think I've seen you asking questions and stuff, you always ask really kind of a deep and meaningful question. So I think that you're particularly going to enjoy your tarot party. I think it's going to go well. This to me seems like a Jonathan kind of tarot party, to be honest. And we see the runes swimming in the waters there. And that was when Odin was said to discover the runes when he hung up from Yggdrasil. And with a bit of magician energy as well. So like lots of this watery energy going on. So there is, which is good in my opinion for a tarot party. It means we're all. It means you're connected, very connected to each other, and that kind of you're there on that intuitive level. So that's what I got.
I got the I got 8 strength,
Oh, nice.
and I think it means you're not actually afraid to like put yourself out there. Like you can put yourself out there without being afraid of anyone like judging you or anything.
Brilliant. Yeah, that confidence, that Leo confidence, definitely.
God, Leah. And I got the first house. And the first house is I am, and it's where it's where the sun rises on the eastern horizon. It's an angular house. It's a very strong house, but it's about your personality and putting yourself out there and being seen. And I think that's what this is going to do for you, is going to allow you to be seen by others and let your own personality and your own natural ability shine through, because you're in a very strong position to showcase that. So that's what I think is going to happen here. It looks like it's going to go really well.
Wow. You guys are really in sync. So you are, those cards
Yeah,
matched
we
each other.
got some fire. So you got
different.
some water. We got some fire. So he's going to have a bit of fire in there. He's going to have a bit of passion, a bit of oomph to get going.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Janine asks, what area of my life should I focus on most for the rest of this year? Well, I got the Hanged Man again. So apparently the Hanged Man's just got a lot to say for itself just now because it was a jumper for Jonathan's reading, and now it's came out top card for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull another wee card to go with it, just to make sure that it's just not the Hanged Man in this deck that's wanting to be the centre of attention. Okay, so I'll say it again. Like the Hanged Man, when we look at the Hanged Man, we're thinking about right taking what our lovely Jelly likes to call the sacred pause. So taking the sacred pause, taking a bit of a break from the normal day to day in order to gain perspective on an issue or gain some sort of wisdom that you didn't have before. Okay, so when we think hanged man, we might think of someone who's maybe studying. Maybe they've been learning, they've been going through like a course at uni or college or something. The hanged man might represent kind of a pulling back on things like the day to day, like your work and your job, and like your normal kind of a uni day to day. All of that kind of a stops. You take a break, or that kind of a you dial it down a bit, and you make some time for yourself to go kind of a be in your room and do all nighters and study the books and stuff like that. That's an example of what I'm talking about with that hanged man energy. Now, the other card that I pulled was the Nine of Wands. Okay, so we do in this card we do see someone who is kind of taking a bit of time to themselves. They're taking a bit of time to step back, and like they're coming to the end of a project that they've been working on. Okay, coming to the end of something, and they're starting to question. As this is someone who's been burnt by what's been where they've come from. It's not been a completely seamless journey. There've been difficulties. All right. And because of that, they're starting to feel a bit defensive. They're starting to put up barriers. Um, and, you know, you start to think this is the point where you're like, is this ever going to end? You know? And usually what we say with when the nine comes up, it's like, yes, it is going to end. You're almost there. You've done so well. It's not all been easy, but you've done really well. And I mean, it's easy enough for me to say, "Oh yeah, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Just keep going. Push that wee bit further. Push through." Um, Maybe in order to let you experience that and feel, boosted to push through, the hanged man energy is what you need. You need to take a bit of a pause, a bit of time out in order to kind of just gain that perspective. So sorry, that's twice in a row that I've cheated and pulled two cards, guys. So yeah, what have you guys got?
I've got the six, the lovers.
Okay. Very nice.
Cute.
Yeah, and I think it's like about making connections and finding new connections and being with people you are connected with. You know that.
Right, okay. Really nice. That's perfect.
Cool. And I got Pisces. So Pisces, go with the flow. Go with the flow. Pisces is all about going with the flow. And Pisces has very strong spiritual faith and connection to the universe. So it might be that you're taking that time to go and make some of those connections to what your faith may be, or where you find that joy or that connection. So it might be a more spiritual connection that you're making, but yeah, don't take it too seriously. Pisces is very, very much go with the flow, but don't get stuck in so much to the point of getting into the daydreaming part of it, because then you'll be lost into the abyss. So try and keep your feet firmly planted on the ground. But yeah, I think this card definitely, allow yourself time to take a step back and rest. Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, that ties nicely in with the hangman, actually.
Yeah,
That's really cool. Brilliant. Amazing. Okay, Janine, I hope that was helpful. Incidentally, guys, if you've got any feedback or anything, you want to say about the reading that you've got, then stick it in the chat. And I will at some point see it. I'll get to it. You know what I'm like, it takes me a wee minute, but okay, next one is Kathy from Tortoiseshell Moon. So his question: I'm mainly fire, Aries, Sun, Leo, Moon, but at the very time that I need to be assertive, I'm being passive, almost despondent. How do I get my bum in gear, or is being passive the right thing to do? Fiery signs. Out of interest, I wonder what did Kathy tell us earlier on what her rising was?
Yeah, I think like it depends where those signs are on your chart. Will depend how much impact they have. I have a sun in Leo, but it's at the very last degree of Leo, and it's in a cadent house, so it's not a very strong sun. So you'd think a sun in Leo is a very outgoing, in-your-face sort of person, and I'm really not that sort of out there person. So just because my sun is a strong sun doesn't mean that it's in a strong place where it can
Right. Okay.
be allowed to shine. So there are those
Yeah.
aspects as well.
Okay. Okay. It's interesting. So you're identifying, Kathy, that you at least feel as though you need to be assertive, but it's like your instinct or your where you're going is like you almost become this passive kind of a energy. So I'm interested in what the cards have got to say. So how do you get your bumming gear or as being passive right? Let's see. No, I've got the moon, lots of watery energy tonight and lots of majors, I feel. So I've got the moon for you. Yeah, I mean sometimes there's power in passivity, all right? Being passive doesn't necessarily mean letting people walk all over you. Let me just say that right now. But like in this image, I love this image of the moon because we see this kind of this maiden, this girl who's sinking to the bottom of the moon's waters. Okay, she's all tangled up in her dress. The instinct when that happens to you is to struggle. It's to panic and struggle and like try and get yourself free, try and get yourself up. But the key with this card, the key message here is what she needs to do is stop, actually stop for a second. If she stops struggling, then the gowns that are stopping her are going to fall down. They're going to kind of like calmly go down and just hold your breath and you rise to the top. That's what Chris Ann says in the book for this card. Um, so sometimes it's there's a lot of power in being passive about a situation. Um, but then remember that the moon is a really as much as we talk about water and the moon and all that being the kind of the passive energy. Um, there's a lot of kind of a power in that as well. Okay, very powerful card. I feel I'm using the word power too much. But yeah, I feel as though what this is saying to you is sometimes being passive is the right thing to do. Sort of maybe not necessarily being passive, but sometimes not taking that knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes it's like not doing the thing that you might think to do first. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, yeah, Moon. What have you guys got?
I've got the Four of Cups,
Oh, okay.
and pretty short, and it means don't focus on the one thing that's there. Focus on the other things that are coming to you.
Okay. Cool.
And I, funnily enough, got Vesta, which is goddess of tending the flame. So it's about this is your hearth where your fire is, and it's about tending to your flame to encourage it to burn because it's burning inside you, and you want to accomplish those things that you set out to do, but it's about focusing on that and dedicating yourself to building that up within you because it is there. It just needs for you to focus on it to do some dedication to it to help bring it to fruition, I think. Yeah, because it's definitely there. So this is the time where you just need to sit with your own flame and find what's going to ignite it, because maybe there's situations that you're in is not enough to ignite that fire within you. So whether it's just not something that's going to bring you joy, and it's just not going to ignite your flame. So it might not be an area that you need to put your energy into. So
Mm.
I think try and tune yourself with your own inner flame. It'll tell you.
Okay. Brilliant. Just scrolling down, that was all the comments that I'd starred. I'm just looking to see if we've got any more questions. So bear with me a sec. I was sitting in a chair in my driveway during the shout out and I was completely fangirling about fell out my chair. Oh, that was when Simon shouted you out. So Kathy has subbed to Nerys and Caleb's channel.
Oh, thank you.
Janine says, I was reading about Odin on my birthday weekend after visiting the York Viking Centre. I bought my son's baby a wolf teddy and called it Fenrir. Oh, that's cute.
Aww.
Deanne says Caleb is nailing it.
There you go,
See,
Caleb.
told you. I told Justin.
Careful, you give him a big head.
That's all right. He's not getting enough fire in his chart. He needs a bigger head. Let's see. Jonathan's talking about using his own system of runes called Dark Light Runes, which is made to be cast onto a tarot reading.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If Gerald was here, he would hold up his hashtag overcomplicator stash tag, I'm sure. But it does sound really cool. Hanged Man is my tarot card year. I'm trying to remember what my year is. What year are you on, Nerys? What year are you guys on?
Oh, crikey. I can't remember. What would I be on? Jeez, I know I figured it out. I think I'm on a strength year.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So is that do you count that as 8 or 11?
11.
Oh, drum roll. Oh, do you? So you use strength 8 and justice 11, strength 11 and justice 8. Oh, interesting. Controversial, some might even say.
Just a bit different.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what am I? So I'm 1st November, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So am I Wheel of Fortune this year then? I think I'm in a Wheel of Fortune year. So I'm sorry, I'm still just looking to see if there's any more questions. I don't think there are. So Kathy has said about her reading, I can be impulsive. That's great. There's power in passivity. That's right. And that's true. I'm not being fired up. Great insight from Nerys and Caleb. Excellent. Thank you. Right, that's all the questions that we've had in the chat. I did my usual. I just went full fire into this live and I didn't have the manners to say to Nerys, by the way, do you need to get away for a certain time?
Oh, no, it's not like
it's
not like we've got
just
anything else to do
your
today.
time and just assumed. Like I say, it's the All About Chris show. Yeah.
No, we were all good, weren't we?
Good. Do you want to kind of wrap up? We can maybe pull a wee card each for everyone, for the collective. I usually like to finish up by pulling a wee card for everyone. Just a wee message for the weekend to take us into the weekend.
Message for the weekend.
You guys got anything nice planned for the weekend?
I think we were going to head out to the museum today because they've got the Secrets of Stonehenge exhibit on.
Ooh,
so we were going to go and check that out.
Sounds good.
Something to do. Get the kids out of the house and maybe learn something at the same time.
Cool. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Right,
What
my
about
card
yourself?
for good question. What am I doing? No, I think it's a chill one this weekend. Don't have terribly much to do. A couple of wee errands here and there. I need to take my wedding ring into the shop to get it fixed because I'm having problems with it. It keeps on it's broken a couple of times. I don't want to get into it. It's a big long story, but yeah, I need to take my wedding ring to the jewelers to get them to look at it and fix it. So that's something that I'll need to do on Saturday. I've got my niece tomorrow as usual,
Oh,
and
nice.
then Sunday I think is just a chill day if I remember correctly. I think so. Yeah, should be good. Right, guys. So the card that I've pulled for everyone for the weekend is the Eight of Wands. So oftentimes we'll associate this card with like really fast movement, and it is. It's like a fast energy. That but it's in the best possible way. The Eight of Wands is what happens when you're when there's something you're really passionate about and you've built it up from the ground. You've built it up from just a seed, just a babe. You've made it your thing. um the Eight of Wands signifies that point in time where the sky's the limit. All of a sudden it becomes like it's this big thing that you never even thought was possible when you first started. The Eight of Wands is that energy that just takes it everywhere. So the example that I always pull out my backside is like, oh, you started off like a wee, I don't know, ice cream fan. All of a sudden, you've got this brand of ice cream that's like being sold in shops all over the country. That's Eight of Wands. It's like the thing is transcending to a totally different level, you know. So we've got that really exciting Eight of Wands energy this weekend. So let's jump on it. And let's use it. Let's make the most of it.
What have you got?
I got 18 the moon.
Ooh,
And I think it says, even when it's dark, you can find something really bright in it.
I love that.
Mm.
Amazing.
There you go. And I got Sagittarius, which I think links with your Eight of Wands quite nicely with getting out there and being wild and adventurous, and it's that connection of the animal and the human, and being out. Just go out and be wild, people. Have some fun. Have that connection
Do
between your
something you're
physical
going to
body and your
regret
mind.
tomorrow.
Exactly. It's a connection of the physical body with your mind. So it's about travel. It's about adventure. It's about getting out there and doing. They're optimistic. They've got they're free spirits. Yeah,
Amazing.
so definitely get out there, do some things, be
Yeah,
adventurous.
brilliant. Excellent. Well, I want to say thank you, first of all, to you guys. Really, really appreciate you both coming on. Caleb, thank you so much to you particularly. I'm not sure, I wasn't sure how long we were going to have you for, or, but it's been absolutely a dream come true being able to pull cards with you. So thank you so much for doing this with us. I really do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna say?
Oh yeah. And the people still here, you guys can go and like and subscribe to this channel and all that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And make sure that you like and subscribe to Wickan 222 as well. Everyone, please go do it now. We'll wait. As
Thank
Gerald
you.
always says, we'll wait. Yeah, and Nerys, it's been great catching up. It's been lovely seeing you. We used to see each other and like the sit with me's and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're kind of they don't happen as often now, and we just don't get to see each other as often as what we should. So it's been amazing.
I've truly loved it.
up.
Thank you so much for having me on. I've absolutely loved catching up with you and seeing everyone. It's been so amazing.
Brilliant. We should do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, thank you so much to everyone in the chat. It's been great having you all as always, keeping us company with your comments. And thank you in particular to those of you that have asked questions for the cards, because it's been really fun reading for everyone. So have a great weekend, everyone. Take care, and we shall see you all very soon. Bye.